Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another episode of Bastion. Let me start off by asking you to whitelist me or turn off any ad blockers. Help me make a career, please. We are ready to rock and roll, so let's fly into the sky and pick our next location. So we have two proving grounds and an actual location. The Langston River. It was last seen halfway down the riverbank in the shadow of the Prosper Bluff. What was last seen? The core? Okay. So we're gonna do one and then possibly do one of these proving grounds. Now, I'm a little questioning whether I'm gonna have enough fragments to unlock everything, but it really doesn't matter, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's hear what the old Rusk has to say about this area.
That's the Langston River. Used to cut all the way to the Wild. Think it was bad then.
So, we have this great sea, we have Celadonna, we have another area, country, called Ura, and then we have this area called the Wild. They're really doing a lot of world building in this game, which really makes me hope that they come back to this world at some point. If you're gonna do a bunch of world building, you kind of want to come back to the world. But so many games are like that. So many games do tons of world building and then never a sequel. And I guess that's a little weird. It's a lot of effort wasted. Let's get into the level then. Yes, I want to be involved with the world of the game while I'm playing it, but...
The Langston River flowed free and wild till the Calamity drank it all up.
Oh, a bird. We do see
Maybe all that water just grew wings and flew off.
Stab weed. Back to stab weed. Let's just use it up. Use our little musket cannon here.
Riverbank swarming with windbags. They're so bent on finding the core, they hardly notice the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat.
Okay, so shooting these guys is pretty impossible with my current setup.
Weepin' Nelly. She sends some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nelly knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the clamor on the coast.
My musket's
Or maybe not. A security skiff pulls up portside. Nelly's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with. They're pretty steamed about what happened at Cinderbrick. They try to cut her off. They try to slow her down. They try to knock her out. Well, Weepin' Nelly tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors.
this setup is a pretty interesting example of how I can just do nothing to take out a lot of these weapons.
At least she picked a good spot for a break, because the core's right there.
So let's see, let's fortunately take the breaker's bow. We'll use mirror shield. So I don't think we've used that. Now I can finally start taking out distance things that are powerful.
Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. They've been watching his every move. Peckers.
Interesting decision in your name.
They had their own eyes on the core. But why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. He finds Weeping Nellie raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough.
These guys are working for me.
She's gonna need a little help with all them peckers. Traffic things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these.
This is a pretty good setup, actually. I can see how they designed this level.
Security skiffs keep on coming, starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something. The windbag's getting even better out here. They aim to smash Weeping Nellie to splinters. Kid boards one of them skiffs like some kind of Ceylondian privateer. Well, it all proves too much for poor Nellie.
Nellie's broken. We're going out of control.
She's just gotta make one last stop. With her last breath, Nellie gets the kid to solid ground. Solid ground in pecker country. Seems the Calamity ain't hurt the peckers' appetites. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoos them off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the barge back there? A good couple of times.
So, he would have said none if it was none, and he would have said probably a lot if I'd done it more. So I maybe could possibly sit here and just have an infinite spawning of these guys? I don't know. This tree shakes, it just doesn't come down or drop anything. Interesting. Well, down the opening.
Now, listen close. You should remember this next part. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. The city was the most beautiful place in the world. We all knew that. But on the other hand, some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it?
Oh, so the green smoke actually makes it difficult for me to see. So that's why I want to stay out of it. I guess that's a good trade-off. Power shot, still didn't hit him. What's the point of having a power shot when half the time they...
There, the kid hears something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? Yeah, that's the one.
So, let you listen to the whole song there without talking over it. It's gone. It's gonna loop around. We have two different areas here, so I'm a little confused as to which one is the right move and which one is the extra move. looks like it's progressing, so let's... You get to these points in some games where you don't know which way is the extra part and which way is the... Oh, well, I guess this is that was the extra part. So we didn't even need to open that, really? Oh, okay. That would have been kind of funny, actually, to do all that work and just send you back to where you started. It looks like the exit right there. I definitely do appreciate games having at least a couple intriguing songs, but then you also have to have a pretty good selection of just unmemorable music in video games. It's a very strange thing. If you make a movie, you can just fill it full of recognizable sound. Of course, if you do that, that probably means you're not trying to get your dialogue across that much. But in video games, because there's just a lot of repetitive. If you were watching me, I was just sitting around taking shots at these birds while the song was playing. And
well, no point explaining what happens next, right?
So, in all of that, it doesn't...
Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed.
This journal...
And besides, it's like the song goes.
Those tears are gonna spill. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there.
We could sit here and listen to the whole song again in a better format because I won't be running around making slight noises. But I would recommend you just get the soundtrack if you want to hear it. You also, the thing about soundtracks that are good too is soundtracks often have variations and extra songs that aren't even in the games for video games. So if you've never checked out a video game soundtrack, go think of your favorite video game and see if they have a soundtrack. We're gonna progress forward.
They'll be here before too long.
The singer agreed to return to the Bastion.
We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zolf never thought he'd see a fellow Ura again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find.
One last core, man. We might be very close to the end of this game. Ooh, I thought this game was a little bit longer, but I'm not gonna let it bother me too much. I'm gonna play this at least a couple times. So, we've survived Zia, a new Ura. Let's talk to Zia. Let's ask her about ancient spices. Eating this stuff was like a rite of passage in the city. Did the Ura like it?
Most of the Ura never got a taste of Caelandia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here.
So Zia was actually from Ura? Or was she actually born and raised in this place? Not much to see out there beyond the Bastion, but maybe you'll find something.
Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see. But leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view.
Did the marshals ever give you any trouble? You seem worried whenever you see this.
Girl tried to run away from home one time. But the marshals stopped that, didn't they?
The hidebound journal. Ask Z about the journal from her campgrounds. Traditional Aura script was outlawed in the city. Is this your handwriting?
So many secrets in there and she can't even read it. Her father's own journal.
What kind of... Wow. I mean, I've already kind of not liked Caledonia. It sounds like a not very good place. And now they're outlawing every language except for theirs. It's crazy. What do you make of these drawings and diagrams? Isn't this written in your native language?
A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much.
Can you read this? Do you know any of these charts and formulas? Do they mean anything to you?
If only I'd known half the secrets of the Calamity were tucked away in that book. I'd have worked to translate it right away. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either.
So the only thing we can build is the shrine. And so we build the shrine. It's kind of a good place for the shrine too, because it's a pretty big building. We might get in the way of seeing the memorial.
Behold, the Pantheon.
So, if I enabled this, I'd get another 5%. But it would only make the game more difficult, and I'm not willing to make it more difficult. I don't even have Pith enabled. How did that get disabled, I wonder? Did I never have it enabled? I exited out of the game and maybe it turned it off, I don't know. That is fine with me. If I'm having the level of difficulty that I am having with this game right now, making it more difficult doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Oh, so we have some two new drinks. Wait, no, these aren't drinks, these are idols. So we can buy the idols to get more, to make the game more difficult, to get more crystals. Ooh, that's a bit of an investment. You'd have to run the numbers here. You're gonna spend 100 fragments to get maybe 5 or 10% increased amount of fragments. Probably would be worth it if I was a good player. Have I leveled up to even the 4th level? No.
If you're feeling low, count on the buttery flavor of our own Bastion bourbon.
So let's see. To forge.
Ain't never letting go of his old friend with a sturdy grip like that.
So for another 675, I could get +2 shots, so I could go through like 4 targets. 50% increased damage, or improved firing rate. For 200, I can increase the spread, but let's see, lose some range, or increase the range and lose some spread. I'd probably want to lose some range, increase the range.
You want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel.
So there's 3 more weapons, at least, and I think probably even more. So, obviously the game's not gonna end, just immediately end. Let's use Graver Slasher. So let's go back to the War Machete and what is it? Graver Slasher. And then let's go to the repeater. Spice it up. Not becoming an expert at any of these. Alright. I think if I hit this pipe.
3rd time's a charm, right? Wrong.
So this is probably going to be the kid's dream again. I think I have to beat
Ever
this
tell you
one.
how the kid got himself wrapped up in this mess to begin with?
So if I beat this one, there are other dreams. But they... kind of makes me regret not doing no sweat.
The past catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started.
If I had done no sweat, I would have been a lot better off. I would recommend everybody probably play on no sweat because the life system here is really strange. You have refill potions, but you
Fair to
actually
say
have
he's led a hard life. Supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his.
one of the memorial. Oh, I like that. I like this left trigger, this right trigger.
Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there.
Rise and bang. I'm taking damage. I didn't know the blue stuff did damage.
School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too.
It's pretty slow going.
The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Caelandia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. Out there, kid learned to fend for himself, learn to build, learn to break. In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. He saw nothing where the world used to be. The Calamity happened just like that.
That was unfair. It just landed right Remember, I have a continue.
All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him.
Probably limiting you so they can't knock out any more floor, which is a good thing because I don't think I can tolerate as much once we knock out. Well, they just knocked out some more floor. And I got two of them. Exactly what doesn't look good on recording is watching somebody carefully, cautiously see that preferably
He finally arrived at Zealandia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else.
There's some things that are inconsistent in Rusk's story. He said he arrived and only he arrived, Lord Rusk was there. And then when we picked up the girl,
all he got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name.
Okay, there he mentioned some stuff.
Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made them real, not me.
So apparently created the walls and stuff? Oh, really? Barely made out of that one alive.
I'd like to say I'll never forget him, or what he's doing. What he's done, I surely would.
Oh, that took a while, but we did it. We did it, which is great news. And so we got a lot of backstory there. Lots and lots of backstory about who Rux is, who I am. Now, if I hit this pipe again, I will do another dream, but I don't think it's worth doing 2 in a row. That would be a bitch. We did complete 2 of these challenges. Defeat a hardy foe with the less clip, bolt and a clip.
The trappers, daring bunch of fools. They'll be missed.
Quick strike foes 15 times in a row without missing.
The gravers, the arm of justice. They seemed unstoppable.
So those little round-based tournament dreams will certainly probably help us get the others if we equip the right weapons before we go in there. Let's see. Are we making more progress? Not a lot more progress on those. Let's see. So let's see if we can increase our weapons.
His bow's looking lean and mean like a prize fighter.
I got a massive amount. I got about 1,000 fragments out of that.
That ought to make those fangs sink in nice and deep.
So we even have extra scrap to buy more upgrade material. So we want to buy this first. And then go back here and see if we can upgrade one more time.
Now he can shoot that fang repeater all day long.
So I have 200 more. Lunkhead liquor. Let's just go ahead and buy this idol. Why not? So now that I have the idol, I can get a 5% bonus. I could get a 10% bonus, and I could get another 5% bonus. So you see, if you stacked all these and just gave made this game very much more difficult, you would get quite a bit of bonus. The game, I'm not sure really is necessary to ever turn on any of these, but that certainly helps players that are slightly more skilled make the game more difficult. Because remember, we only had two sort of difficulty modes in this game. We have normal mode, which we're playing, which gives you one continue, and then no sweat mode, which gives you as many continues as you need. So there was no like easy, normal, or hard, but with the shrine you can certainly do all that. My only real problem,
We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds.
is that we can't seem to fly to any of the previous locations. Now, all of the locations we've seen so far have been kind of just straight line runs, and because of that, it's not that useful to go back and do it again. But if you need just a little bit of scrap, here was the Prosper Bluff. We were taken there in the middle of our process, and so we didn't hear the information about that. We'll listen to that. I'm not gonna do any proving grounds after all. We did that long one. I'll save those for later. I think there are more levels and such. I hope. I certainly hope that would be. If we end the game on the next level and I never get to even looking at these proving grounds, I'm gonna have to give a upward apology there. I don't believe the game ends here, but I think it's, I can't remember, so I think it's only necessary we do a proving ground right now, and we look at the other one at the beginning of the next episode. So let's listen to the info about Prosper Bluff.
Prosper Bluff. Fine view up there. The city to the west, and to the east, the wild unknown.
So on this save game, I
The
didn't
Wharf
listen to the
District.
wharf.
Folks sail deep into the boundless sea from here.
And
The
did listen to
Breaker
this.
Barracks. Many straight shooters learn their way here.
You can only listen once, apparently, which seems strange too. You can't even have them repeat dialogue. So I'm gonna go to the scrapyard proving ground and see if we can pull this off. Make this episode be a little bit longer.
That's the scrapyard, where folks got to smash things and call it community service. The city's unwanted things all met their end in the yard. Folks who fouled up will do their time here, smashing things to bits.
So quickly destroy 100 objects. The trick here is to be methodical.
The quicker they worked, the sooner they could go.
It'll be kind of thorough too, though.
Folks
Don't
learn to
miss-
plant their feet and put their backs into it. Others would plot a course to navigate that sea of junk. A good day smashing could feed a family for a week.
Okay. So I would have had to shave it down to 27 seconds. A little bit of working on my hammer swing and the amount of damage it does would certainly get that done. So the trick, of course, is to roll and be fast. Roll and fast. And you do some damage when you roll, so it helps you. But something heavy and something wrong. And these third tier items are almost always just a new right trigger technique, which, okay, that's cool and all. They're not that helpful, not that needed. We haven't hit a point where it's
Ever want to
very
just
difficult.
smash things for a while? You know where to go.
So we've got something heavy. So I could have 50% damage. Focus attack doesn't help me. Uppercut really doesn't help me. 50% damage. So if I spend 750 more, I could be just a little bit, do more damage with the hammer. So I don't have to take 2 swings to destroy all that stuff. But I'm not sure we're gonna get the first prize on all the proving grounds. I'm not sure about any of that. You know what really gets me is I'm not sure if we beat the game if we can go back and continue. If we can go back and continue after we beat the game, we will definitely put some episodes in this of just focusing in on proving grounds and beating things. So we've got a lot of work to do next episode, but that's the end of this episode. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of the video. All of that helps me out. If you want to follow me on Twitter or Google Plus or friend me on Steam or Battle.net, all that information is down below. I do have fan funding enabled. I forgot to mention that. Click on my name, Rydo. Go to my main YouTube page. On the right there is a blue button that says support this channel. Any amount you could donate will be greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.